Following the dismissal of head coach Henrik Rydström, Columbus Crew had a fast turnaround facing an NYCFC team in the US Open Cup that weeks ago had just handed a humiliating 3-0 defeat to the Crew at Yankee Stadium. Under interim manager Laurent Courtois, Crew took full advantage of the new manager bump, generating 8 shots on target, their most against MLS opposition all year, and had threatened to run up the score if not for a fantastic performance from World Cup-bound Matt Freese. The Crew now advanced to the semifinals of the US Open Cup thanks to a well-worked goal from Max Arfsten, who is also World Cup bound and is in some of the best form of his entire career. But how the Crew create this goal was such a return to the authentic Columbus Crew style of the last few years that I felt like I needed to talk about it. The Wilfried Nancy era of the Crew was defined by absorbing pressure, drawing an opponent in, and then running downhill when you can create the right openings. They played a transition game despite having a majority of possession. This play starts out with a throw-in in the Crew's defensive half. The ball is put directly on the feet of midfielder Andre Gomez. I want to call out Andre Gomez for a second too, because I think he was a brilliant signing for the Crew. While he has a little bit of an injury history, what he offered the Crew is being really sure on the ball and very press-proof. The Crew are used to having an extremely press-resistant midfielder in Darlington Nagbe, and finding someone like Gomez to fill that void on a free transfer is a really, really good piece of business. Here, Gomez gets the ball and absorbs the pressure of 4 different NYCFC players, the most important being Jamaican international right-back Trayvon Gray, who continues to pursue Gomez on this play. The Crew then move exceptionally to exploit the space from this clustered NYCFC press. Gomez kicks the ball out to Steven Moreira, who has plenty of space outside to kick it to Andres Herrera if he wants, but instead sees Crew right winger Nariman Akunzada moving inside to fill the space vacated by the NYCFC press. Akunzada reads the play really well and immediately kicks it out to Arfsten, who is running into the space vacated by Gray. It's a simple but great leading ball for Arfsten, which puts him one-on-one on the center back, who currently has his back to him as he tries to sprint to return to goal. From here, these are the moments that Max Arfsten shines. Arfsten's two-footedness makes him a really difficult man to cover in situations like these. He slows up and plays the ball onto his weaker right foot, but as I've covered in my previous video on Arfsten, he's extremely comfortable with his right foot and slots it in for a fine finish against his soon-to-be World Cup teammate Matt Freese. Crew go from a defensive half throw-in to scoring in just 19 seconds by manipulating the NYCFC midfield and defense and drawing a key defender to overcommit and then immediately exploiting that. If this is an indication of what the Crew will look like in the rest of 2026, then I think some of the magic from the last few seasons will be back for this team. But I would be surprised if the Crew still have Max Arfsten following the World Cup break, as it feels like the ideal opportunity for him to make a jump to Europe if he wants to. You can check out my deeper breakdown of Max Arfsten here. This has been Soccer with Sam. Save the Vancouver Whitecaps.